from my youthful days.
All right, welcome to the Middle-Aged Man Show, the only show where we know we still got it, but the clock is ticking. I'm Sucio. I'm here with my co-host Divine Knowledge, and today's show...
Broke guys don't deserve no pussy.
Damn. That means I'm not getting none. God.
No, I heard that on the record, so it's like there's no respect for men anymore. Like,
it's a whole new generation. You know, back in the day, you could go up to a girl and say, hey, I work at Chipotle, I have a few dollars, I got a bottle back home, and you were winning. That's not the case now. You gotta have some money. You gotta have a net worth if you're gonna pull up on these girls. It's insane.
It's like they're being programmed to not need a man. It's like
there's no more love anymore. It's how much you got on you, how much is in your bank account. Let me look at your Instagram. I remember going up to a girl not a couple years back, and she's like, let me look at your Instagram. How much you got? It's like, whoa, hold on. You know, I'm here. You know, they want to see what you got, how much money you got in the bank. They're not trying to give any broke guys no play.
I mean, you know, a lot of guys are out here demanding BBLs, lace fronts, and beat faces, little plastic surgery. It's like, can you afford the price of admission? Like, they put the price of pussy so high, like, who can really afford it now?
These girls on social media, they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars online. And like you said, you know, they're spending $1 million on their body, BBLs, and they're not trying to mess with no guy working at Chipotle making a couple dollars. He better have some money.
Dude, a lot of these guys... It's sad because they're like, we call them homeless sexuals. they're looking for like girls that have Section 8 so they get free rent. You know what I'm saying? They're cuffing them for the winter time. And it's like being in jail. You go to jail for the winter. You know, you get 3 hots in the cot and you got a roof over your head.
I know a couple guys like that they'll try to go to jail, you know, for the winter, stay warm, you know.
Dude, I got tenants, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel like I'm running a shelter. Like guys are coming in for the winter time, they're cuffed up. You know, so the guy can change some brakes, whatever.
Wait, so what are you saying? That the girl has an apartment. She has Section 8.
I got 2 of them.
She has Section 8, and what? She's just letting these guys come in and live with her?
2 apartments, 2 Section 8 people, and they like, yes, they switch boyfriends. Like, you know, one guy came in, he was shooting. Something to pull the gun on somebody or whatever. The neighbor had it on videotape. It's like, yo.
I think these girls are targeting the wrong guys because, I mean, it's like you should try to go get a guy that's going to try to get you out of the Section 8. I actually know a girl that she just goes from broke guy to broke guy. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're a pretty girl. You should aim a little higher, you know?
Yeah, some of these guys think like giving a girl $50 is a big deal. Like, I gave you $50 last week for the kids. Like,
what's $50? You could just go online on her profile. There's guys asking, what's your cash app? You know?
There's no extra money. They don't have any extra money.
It's tough for these guys because, I mean, unless you have perfect credit, you're making 40 times the rent. You're not getting an apartment in New York City. You're not. You better have money if you're going to get an apartment here in New York City.
A lot of these girls will get upset because they say guys are lying, they're cheating on them, they're carrying on. Like, guys that tell a girl, like, I'm a police officer and he's really a security guard. Just be honest. Just be who you are. See, if the guy has no money, he can't take care of his woman. If you can't take care of her, then she doesn't need you. You're a liability.
100% right.
You know, she doesn't. That's like another child. So you become one of the kids.
You know,
the man.
I knew this guy that he would actually target girls that had a minimum of 3 kids. I mean, this guy was just a total bum. He would target girls that have at least 3 kids because he would say to him, and I'm like, why do you do that to yourself? He's like, well, she's taking care of 3 kids. She could definitely take care of me. And he would jump from one to the next. Like, I think maybe he would like chase them down, see them with a stroller. Oh my gosh, you could take care of that baby. But that comes with the whole thing. Like, these guys are raised to be codependent men, to be dependent on a woman, to be dependent on the system, to be dependent on this. They're not taught to be independent leaders, you know? So they themselves are pre-programmed to land some girl and live off her. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I think we should breed men to be leaders.
Right. The man's job is to provide and protect.
100%.
Like, if you're in the house and she's, honey, there's a mouse. You can't be standing on the fucking table with her. And you're supposed to get the mouse. If you can't kill the mouse, what are you there for?
Damn, I'm actually afraid of mice, you know? My wife's the one that chases down the mouse. I run. I mean, roaches, I could kill a roach, but I'm not messing with no mice,
right.
You know?
If the woman can't produce kids, then you're going to have a problem, right?
Yeah.
You want her to produce kids.
That's a problem.
Right?
Yes.
You want her to have some cooking skills, right?
A little bit, yeah. You got to cook. You got to feed your guy, especially if he's working, but not if he's not working,
right.
You know?
You want a traditional woman.
Of course.
So she's looking for the same thing. That's called balance. You got guys sitting home, smoking weed all day. they think they're listening to Future. Future's their father. Like he's telling them, yeah, I'm drinking lean and smoking whatever dope and taking drugs. But really, he's not doing that. He's got a real healthy diet. The guys that's listening to it is there drugged out, and they have this hedonistic attitude where all they're looking about is drugs and sex, and they think that's real life, which is.
But understand, Divine. Like these guys, they look for these guys to be father figures because they either didn't have a father figure or had a father figure who was emasculated from the system. I mean, look at my kids. I named my kids Sean and Mace. I looked up as a kid. I wanted to be like Puff Daddy and Mace. When Puffy said, tell your friends to get with my friends. I mean, I just wanted to hang out with girls, make money, hang out with my friends. I literally named my kids Sean and Mace after Puff Daddy and Mace because those were my father figures. Because at home, the father figures that you have, they're emasculated, they're controlled by the women. Women are equal to men. And I went in a totally different route. I said, hey, these are going to be my figures. And as a kid, I wanted to be like Puffy and Mace.
See, with women, they could get sex anytime. It's different from men. You know what I mean? Women can go up to any strange man, and more than likely the guy's going to say yes if she asks him to have sex. You can't get sex from a woman. You got to work or you have to pay for it. So you got to bring value. It's got to be something that she needs from you. Security. That's where that comes in. And that's where people are not understanding. These guys have a false sense of reality, listening to too much hip-hop, taking too many drugs, and not really focus on what needs to be done. And that's a major problem. So now we have these kids out here going nuts. Everybody's just shooting on the train and attacking the police.
And the hip hop has changed because at least back then, during our generation, guys wanted to go get money, get rich. Now they want to get lean. They want to be on lean. They want to be on drugs. And it's like if these are the father figures that these kids are looking up to, they really, really have no shot at even becoming a man or even landing a woman because you didn't fully develop yourself as a man. You're on the couch sipping lean.
Right. So we went from the era of the drug dealer to now the drug user.
It's insane. It's insane. It was cool back then to be the drug dealer making money. Now it's cool to pop a bunch of pills and be high. And there's really no growth in that. If you're that type of guy, you really don't deserve no pussy.
But then there's another stick to this whole deal. So now when the black women, when they're upset now because this guy's not delivering, she's considered the angry black woman. And then I've heard that if it's a Latino woman and she has an attitude, it's considered spicy. So there's another conflict there.
Yeah, there's guys that they like oh, she's feisty and stuff like that. Now, I'm not messing with no feisty woman or no woman with an attitude or nothing. I'm looking for a woman who's down to earth. You really can't be with these women that are going to try to drain you.
Well, the price of pussy has gone up with the cost of goods and services. So can you afford the inflation factor?
Even with the whores, back then you could get some for $200. Now the $200 whores are making $100,000 on the internet, so you can't even pay for some decent pussy.
The Consumer Pussy Index says yes. Now I saw a video.
Prices up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Shout out to Fat Joe.
Yeah, shout out to Fat Joe on that one.
I saw a video with Too Short, and it was he was talking about like back in the days. If he did a show, whatever, after party, meet some chicks, say, hey, come back to the crib. We got the gin and juice or whatever. We got some smoke. We can party, hang out. And it used to be like, no problem. So now, he said, when he offered the same deal, come to the house, hang out with the rappers, chill, smoke, drink, party. She's like, well, how much are you cash apping me? Like, cash apping you? What are you talking about? It's literally a cash app game. So now you got to be prepared to pay. So the price has gone up.
They're almost at an auction if you think about it. Because if they're on Instagram, they have 100,000 followers. They're going for the highest bidder.
Correct.
You can't blame them. You can't blame them. Why go with Joe Schmo working at Chipotle? Why mess with a guy like me standing at home in front of Home Depot, trying to make a few dollars, trying to do work for the day? You got to go for the guys that have money. That's why I feel bad for some of these girls that are allowing some of these guys to go into their Section 8 apartment. I mean, if you're broke,
you shouldn't be asking anybody out to dinner if you can't afford to pay for it. It's like the girl can stay home. They've got the vibrators, the Rose. She can stay home and play with the Rose. She doesn't need you.
Yeah, she could go online and play with the Rose and make money. Why even have the broke guy over?
Yeah, see, men need to have a plan. They need to have some upward mobility. Right now, You got Future and Kevin Samuels as their role models. God bless the dead Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels is the
A
man.
lot of people like Kevin.
I like Kevin. He said if a woman's over 200 pounds, she's a linebacker. I love that comment.
But he died single. He wasn't married.
That's true. That is true.
You know, again, you can't be a SoundCloud rapper thinking, thinking that you're gonna support a family.
No, but these guys, they pull up on these girls like, hey, I'm a rapper. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But that's what society's teaching them. Like, hey, become a rapper or go get a job. How about be a boss? How about be a business owner? You're not going to win just getting a regular job and trying to get a girl, you know?
But if you're having sex with multiple women, having multiple babies, that's the collapse of the family structure. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster.
It's the collapse of also your wallet because you got 3 different child supports chasing you down.
Dude, like, it's a shame because nobody's getting married anymore. It's like the baby shower is the new wedding. That's the new wedding. You're having high-end baby showers and these big-time gender reveal parties because nobody wants to get married.
You know, statistics show that men under 30, the testosterone is at an all-time low. It also states in that report that men are just totally uninterested. That whole generation, they're just totally uninterested in being with women. I mean, but why would you even bother? You got Cardi B. It's Cardi B. You're pulling up on Cardi B like, yeah, you're broke. You don't deserve none. You know? So why even bother with women? So these guys are just beating off to girls on OnlyFans. You know? Their girlfriend becomes the OnlyFans girl, you know?
Unbelievable.
So that's the world that we're in. Like the girls go out there and get what they want through OnlyFans. They're getting paid. And the guys get their sexual release by looking at the girls on OnlyFans. Because a regular girl's not really going to give them none. You know?
But guys are not being held to the same standard as women. They want the girl, as I said before, to have a BBL, have a beat face, have lace front, and the guy doesn't really have to do much. He has no standards. Sometimes the guys are screaming, racism, white supremacy is holding me back. The white man is holding me back. I mean, you're not even putting in an application. That guy, nobody's holding you back. You're holding yourself back. If you're a weed head, you're a weed addict, and you're sitting there smoking 50 blunts with your boys playing Call of Duty all day.
That comes from the lack of male role models, you know? Like you said, they look at Future, they're there smoking weed, hanging out, they look at the rappers, they want to become a SoundCloud rapper. I think we have a lack of male role models in our society. And we need more positive male role models.
So these girls want you to be able to be handy, at least. Can you be handy? If you grew up without a father, you don't know how to use a hammer, you don't know how to use a wrench.
Well, if you're broke, you better know how to be handy or something. You better know how to kill a mouse or do something.
You better be able to build a shed, something. Yeah, because the girl wants you to be her best friend. I mean, you don't have to be rich, but she wants you to be able to take her on vacation. She likes nice things. Bring home some flowers, a little candy. How about some romance? Not just like you're just looking for sex all the time and you have no self-worth. You're not bringing anything but hard dick and bubble gum.
That's what. But that's why these young broke men, they're just uninterested. They're not even bothering. They're not even in the game. You know that I actually heard from a young guy that if you go up to a girl, you're thirsty. Like you can't just go up to a girl like we used to back in the day. You're thirsty if you're going up to a girl. Like you have to holler at the girl online and she has to do a background check and check your credit score and look at all your pictures and see how much you got. Then maybe you got a shot.
But that's how you getting catfish. That's what you ever seen this. They got a whole TV show, people getting catfish because they're dating a picture and somebody's telling you, I'm shy, or I don't want to go on camera, or I don't want to do FaceTime, or all these excuses that I've seen. Whole guys flying out to meet people, even 90-day fiancés, all kind of crap I see on TV on these channels, and they have people flying across the world to Russia to meet women.
That's insane.
That they're chasing women. They're desperate for love. Like, what the hell is going on?
You know what I saw? I saw the ultimate scam. There's these guys that they call rich women in the UK. And they're like, oh yeah, I'll be your man and this and that, and they get these rich old women to fly them in, and they're living they're on TikTok. You see them on TikTok. These young guys with these older women. It's tough out here for these young. I feel bad for these young guys out there.
I mean, they gotta have some pride. They gotta be able to make the girl's life a little bit better. Otherwise, they're just gonna chase rich guys. And that's what it is. The rich guys are going to get all the girls, and the young guys are going to turn,
So, Divine, you're saying the rich guys are winning, the poor guys are losing. So, in other words, what you're saying is that the rich guys are gonna get all the girls. Poor guys don't deserve
because he can because the rich guy can enhance their lifestyle, and that's what they want. See, it's a shame that we even have to have these conversations. We should be talking about how to get more kids in college, or if they don't want to go to college, how to increase men being in trades like plumbing, electrician, things like that. But that's not cool. They want to be SoundCloud rappers, and that's like not realistic. That's like making it to the NBA or making it to the NFL. That's 1 in a million. You know what I'm saying? So if you see it on TV, everybody's trying to shoot for the same goal, which is really unrealistic, but there's no backup plan. So if you ask a guy, what are you going to do? I'm going to be a rapper. So what happens if you don't make it as a rapper? I'm going to make it as a rapper. You're a hater. You're a hater because you're not buying into my dream. I'm saying, no, I'm not. It's not that I'm not buying into your dream. It's that you got to have a backup plan. Everything doesn't always work out the way you expect it to.
Yeah, but hey, these broke guys deserve a shot. Even broke guys deserve some love. Divine, what's your take on these girls that either have their shit together or don't have their shit together, whether they're Section 8 or whatever, and allowing themselves to be with a broke guy? Isn't the whole point of, you want to upgrade your life, be with a guy who's going to take care of you? What's your take? What is the mentality of these women that are allowing themselves to be with these broke men?
The reason why a lot of these females are dating, these lower level guys or the broke guys is because they don't really have a choice. They either got to date outside of their race. A lot of people don't want to do that. And then you've got to kind of like settle for a guy who has no drive, has no fire, doesn't have the desire to move up socially. And you're kind of stuck in a toxic dating pool, and that's kind of where it ends. You're stuck there. So
it's like Kanye said, look at his ambition, baby. Today's the floor. Next week is the fries. You know what I mean? But I think it's just a lack of opportunities for these guys. And these guys have to learn that they have to go out there and create these opportunities. It's not just about, hey, I'm going to go get a job. You really got to do what you got to do to make yourself a man. And a man should be fruitful. A man should be able to provide for not only for himself, his woman, his children. And these guys just don't have that. But it's the lack of the male figures out there,
Right. We don't have communities. We have neighborhoods because we don't own the businesses in our neighborhoods. So you can't hire your children. You can't hire your neighbors. You can't hire your nephews because you don't own the business. Right now, like in Detroit, the majority of the commercial property is owned by 3 prominent families. We only have roughly about 2% of the wealth in this country. We're very low on the totem pole, and it's now being shown in the dating pool. And the women have no choice. They've got to stay in a toxic dating pool if you want a man, because we just have kind of dropped the ball. So we've got to do a lot better. From my estimation, you got to try. We need some balance. It's just not about video games and this high quality weed that they're selling, this chronics or whatever they call it, gas. I've heard of gas. So
I think all of those things are put into society to kind of slow guys down from leveling up. They've school normalizes, you just going out there to get a job. And, I remember the guidance counselors would sit down with me and, oh, you're going to get a job. You're going to get 37,000 and 50,000. I'm like, I'm making that now in high school. Why am I going to go to college to just go get a regular job and make regular money? So I think society has normalized brokenness, and these guys are going out there walking around confused because they're like, well, I got a job, I can't get laid, I can't get an apartment, and just regular jobs don't make ends meet. So I think guys really have to think outside the box and level up, and thinking outside the box isn't going to, go be a SoundCloud rapper, go start a business, go set up an LLC, go do something. Don't go work for the next man. It's time to level up, guys, so then you can go out and get yourself some pussy, because broke men don't deserve no pussy, according to Cardi B.
And you got to be fair to your woman. You got to be fair. I mean, if she works and you work, then, she's tired too. So some days she cooks, some days you cook. It's the mental load. It's the second shift. That's what they call it. It's the second shift. It's like the expectation has to be realistic, because, it's not going to work if everybody's uncomfortable and there's not the right balance.
But what's a young guy supposed to do? Some of these young guys, they have no education. They have a criminal record because they've been arrested. They can't go out there and get a job. They don't have the male figures or anyone to show them the light. some of these kids
Well,
are
that's why
driven.
we're here. We're here to give them some guidance.
Of course. But these kids, some of them, they don't have that guidance, so they're completely lost. So they go get a job, they don't make ends meet, they go into a life of crime, they end up back in jail, and they just don't have any direction. So I think, it's time for all of us to rise, all of the blacks and Latinos out there to rise up and really show these men the way, and really, have some male figures out there, because there's a lot of young men that don't have male father figures.
That's a fact. That's a fact. We've got to be embedded in the community, and we've got to take more of a position in the people that are close to us and the people that our neighbors, our friends' kids, our family members, and people that we know that don't have a father figure. Bring them around and show them that there's another way. There's another, besides sports and music, there's got to be other careers. Like the basic thing is the trades. We got to get back to the trades.
Definitely.
There used to be vocational schools back in the days, and they used to teach you, if you wanted to go to automotive, there was a school called automotive where they taught you to be an auto mechanic. Or you can go, learn to be a plumber, learn to be an electrician. These are viable trades. I know I pay a ton of money. Every time a pipe breaks, you call Roto-Rooter, one of these guys, they bang you in the head. Electrician? Yeah, I put in a socket in, yeah, $500. You go to the mechanic. Mechanic is worse than a lawyer, right? You go to the mechanic and you got something problem with your car. Oh yeah, this, that, and the third. Yeah, that's $2,000. And guess what? He probably got the piece in the back, but we got to order it. It's got to come from overseas. Give you the whole spiel. And now,
but they don't have these anymore. I think now the school system wants to keep you dumb. Look how they've changed the entire math structure. Like, math is completely confusing. I'm good at math. Math was simple growing up, but math is completely difficult. So I think purposely they want to keep these young men down from going out there and leveling up, and they just go out there and get a job. Like, school pre-programs them to just go get a job. So if you notice, humans are the only animal that raise an 18-year-old that has no idea what he's going to do with himself.
No, that's not acceptable.
Doesn't know how to survive. I mean, a cat raises a cat in 6 months. That cat could be in the wild. But I think our system purposely keeps people down. It purposely keeps them dumb. It purposely keeps them, pre-programmed to be codependent, not only on a woman, but also on a job. And it's not right. I think men should be taught to be leaders, to be fruitful, to be able to provide for a woman, provide for a family. And the game totally changes, guys. When you have money, you no longer have to go out and chase women. The women chase you. The roles completely reverse once you get your shit together.
And I'd like to add, and I'll tell you like this. I believe that the father, he's essential, because he has to give direction to the kids. You can't tell a kid, you just go to college and study whatever. You got it. You have the experience. We know what is needed in the world. A child does not know. So if you say, listen, you got to know how to code. So you got to be a computer scientist. You need to be a computer engineer, because everything is digital now. Everything is on the computer. It's all based on there. If you like video games, learn to make a video game. So we've got to give direction to the children and tell them what they need to be. Not just have them take a ton of student loans, go and take classes that they don't need, that are not applicable in society, and then you end up with a lot of debt and no job to pay it back. So you got to kind of make the decision for them. You got to guide them, and that's what that's why the family structure is so important. And a lot of people don't recognize these aspects, but it's a fact. Everybody else does it. Like, I know a lot of people that tell their kids, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be an engineer. And
it works.
It works.
It works. You have something that's lined up for them.
It works. I'll tell you, the first time I had built the house back in 99, and the guy who built the house, his cousin was the lawyer, and then the other cousin was doing the financing, and him and his father was building the company. They bought farmland. And they were building, it was all totally enclosed in one family. They controlled every aspect of the process, from picking the land, building the house, closing the deal, the banking, financing, the lawyer, all of it.
We need to establish unity amongst our community and really place people in position, That's how a lot of other communities do it. They raise their kids. You're going to get into law because we have a business here. You're going to get into this. You know, I notice within our communities, guys are competing with each other. You know, instead of working together towards a bigger cause, everybody's competing with each other. Oh, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Everybody's stunting on each other, acting like they have more than what they have. Instead of competing with each other, these guys should think together. How can we band together and go out there and do bigger things as a community? You know? There's strength in numbers, but, you know, guys nowadays, they're just competing with each other. But how are these guys supposed to have any type of direction when the father's taken away from the home? The mothers are being told, like, hey, you don't need no man anymore. You could go on welfare, or you could go get a job, and you could get this broke guy out of your house. I mean, how does a kid have direction when he either had no father, or the father that he has was completely emasculated by the woman? So there is no father figure anymore.
I heard one lady, I knew a friend of my mom's, I heard the lady say, the welfare is my husband. I'm married to the welfare because he takes care of me.
I saw another woman that she said, well, people make fun of me because I have 4 kids by 4 baby daddies. And she took out the paper. Well, I had 4 kids by 4 baby daddies because if I would have had 1, I would only get this percent. But instead, I get 27% from these 4. And that's why I have 4 kids by 4 different baby daddies. It's a business. Wow. It's a business. There's no more love. Love is rare, very rare. There's no structure in the family. And I think, you know, this whole modernization started in the 50s and now, and they have all these different agendas. I think we need to go back. I think we do need to take a step back and look at the family structure and the benefits of having that family structure and raising your kids to be leaders and be powerful, not codependent on a system or on a job. You know, this generation, it's sad to see this generation, you know, and that's why they're not getting no pussy. You know,
because look, in the 50s and 60s, more people were married.
Yeah.
There was structure, and we got to get back to that. You need to have a family. That's just the bottom line. You have to have a mom and a dad together, working together to make sure that the family is taught the right morals, the right way to come up.
But what advice, Divine, can we give to the young man who's watching right now who wasn't dealt those cards, who was dealt a bad set of cards? Maybe he's in the system, in and out of foster home. Maybe he has a single mother. Maybe he's being raised by, you know, his aunt or a grandma and doesn't have that figure. What is a young man supposed to do? Where does he go? Because like you said, they're looking at Future, then they go sip lean. You know, so where does he go for that guidance?
Future's not sipping lean.
Exactly.
He's eating a healthy diet. But
yeah,
the record companies, they're promoting that because
of course
it's to their benefit to promote that lifestyle. As a young person, you've got to be accountable. First, accountability. If you look at your situation, your current situation, you say, okay, how did I end up here? So before you go out and have a child with someone, you should say, wow, do I want my child to grow up in the same circumstances that I grew up in without a father? First thing. So then once you realize that's not the right way to do it. So if I'm going to have a child, I'm going to make sure I'm married to the mother, we're together, and we have a plan. So then after that, then you decide, what do you like to do? Okay, my skill set, I'm good with my hands. Then take plumbing, electrician, something like that, mechanic. And there are programs that are available, and it's cool to do those jobs. Because I'll be honest with you, everybody's not going to be a ball player. Everybody's not LeBron James or Kobe Bryant or Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant. It's not going to happen.
Or divine knowledge.
But all you do is, listen, take it one day at a time. Make sure you have your spirituality intact because everything comes through the Most High. And that's the way you deal with it, one day at a time. One day at a time.
Well, there you have it, folks. Today, we had a great conversation with Divine Knowledge. Broke guys can't get no pussy. You know?
So they say.
So they say.
Some guys have some game.
But most importantly, what we want to send out to you guys is that, you know, if you're that broke guy, go out there and go do something with yourself. Level up. Fuck these hoes. Do it for yourself, you know, and the pussy will follow. Don't chase these girls. The pussy will come your way if you get your shit together.
Remember, first rule of nature, self-preservation. Make sure you're in a good position. And make sure, guys, you groom yourselves. Make sure you put on deodorant. Make sure you shave. Make sure you take a shower every day. It's very important. Very important. I think we should do a show about that soon.
Yeah.
Grooming. How to tie a tie.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, especially if you're broke, you might as well smell nice. Because then if you're broke and you smell like you're dirty,
that's the worst.
Then you're definitely not with it.
Definitely don't put cologne on without taking a shower first. How about that?
That's it. That's a good one. Okay. All right, guys, there you have it. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you watch last episode. Can you turn a hoe into a housewife? And also tune in next week. We don't know what the hell we're going to talk about, but it's going to be great.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
Peace.
I'm in love with a man nearly twice my age. Don't know what it is, but it's a hit from my youthful days.